Hey guys, I'm QPark1023 and this is the second part of my mini drone project series. If you haven't watched the first part, watch it first so that you can get an idea of what this is about. After the introduction of the drone, it's time for the fun stuff. I'll be controlling the drone with an 18MB 328p microcontroller chip on an Arduino Pro Mini development board. As for the sensors, an accelerometer and a gyroscope are a must-have for a drone. Luckily, there's an IC that contains both of these sensors, the MPU6050, which I will be using it in the form of a breakout board. I've already covered the MPU6050 in my last video, so be sure to check it out to know more about it. The next important component is a transceiver for the signals needed to be transferred between the controller and the drone. I've chosen the nRF24L01 Plus chip for this purpose since it's cheap and suits my need. Another sensor that I may need is the BMP280 atmospheric pressure sensor, which may be helpful later if I want to incorporate an altitude hold feature. I've built the electronics part of the drone on this breadboard, and also the controller part on this other breadboard. They have took me around 1 to 2 days to complete, but I'm quite happy with them. After that, I plug in the controller and make sure that the nRF24L01 Plus chip is working correctly and that it can transfer the data from both of the joysticks to the receiver correctly, which is on the drone. Due to the successful test, I went on to solder the controller and moved it from the breadboard onto a perf board, which is more permanent, and it will end up be a controller for the drone. But I've encountered quite a few problems. Firstly, the joysticks are mounted with a 90 degrees pin header, but those are not optimal for my usage. Thus I went on to desolder them, but I found them quite hard to be desoldered with my 50-watt soldering iron because of the insufficient wattage, especially on the ground plane desoldering. But eventually I got done with it, and in about an hour or so, after that, I can move on to soldering the two joysticks and the Arduino Pro Mini, and of course the nRF24L01 Plus chip onto the perf board. And that took me around 3 hours or so. But I think it's worth it since it's now more permanent than before, and that I can use it for further testing. After all those hours of desoldering the 90 degrees pin headers from the joysticks and soldering all the components onto the perf board to make it a permanent controller for the drone, it's time for the grand reveal. And ready for it? 3, 2, 1, ta-da! And it doesn't look very nice, but I think it's suitable for a DIY project like this. It's usable definitely, although aesthetically not pleasing. This video has been quite longer than a part 1, so I think it's time to wrap things up here. If you like my video, press the like button, and also subscribe if you want to watch further content from me. And see you next time!